Yo, what is going on, my fellow weebs? Chrono here, and welcome back to the channel. So we're live at the moment. We're actually going to be reading through an article about Blue Protocol. This is an exclusive interview with franchise lead Mike Zador. I'm gonna butcher this man's name. We'll just call him Mike, dude. It's fine. But before we jump into the new here, as always, my name is Chrono. I promote cover PS2 content. Would much appreciate a subscribe as we're going towards that 10K mark, hopefully by the end of this year. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this. So let me switch scenes so you guys can see this a little bit easier. We are doing this live, so you guys get to see everything live. Bam. Awesome. All right, here we go. So I'm sure you guys heard, we talked about this in a recent video, but Blue Protocol has been announced EOS. As of January 18th is when the servers will be going offline. However, Blue Protocol Mobile is still slated to release. Not sure how to feel about that one. I know there's some people out there that are probably upset. Good luck with 10K on YouTube. Thank you. So like I mentioned, we are doing this live. So YouTube chat, Twitch chat are both here. We do stream over on YouTube now. So if you just watch the YouTube videos, you can actually catch streams over on YouTube. And in case you miss any streams, you actually can see those now in our live tab. So you've got those available to you as well. Or you can hop over to Twitch, come hang out with the rest of us. So apparently, and actually I'm gonna let me pull up the tweet really quick. Hang on a second. I'm gonna switch scenes really quick here. Let me pull up this tweet. Because there was a tweet that I saw. It's very interesting. There were some things that were mentioned that I actually kind of like in this tweet, man. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I kind of like what I see here. I know I'm like stalling. I'm sorry. It'd be nice for me to be ready about for these things at the very get-go, but you know, your boy is your boy. What are you gonna do about it? Eh? All right, here we go. So when a chapter ends, another may begin. With the CN test of Blue Protocol Mobile underway, we've collected all the information and compiled a list to compare it with the JP version of the game. And these are just some notable changes they mentioned. Holy Trinity is back. That means 10 killer DPS. Marketed as an MMO. I misread this before. I thought that was like an MMO style market, but it's marketed as an MMO. PC client, new classes and revamped combat, and much more. I don't know what that means. I'm very interested to find out what that means. I'm curious about the new classes section. I'm curious to see what they decide to do with that and how they decide to change things. Because we know that there was 2 classes that were added to Blue Protocol before it went EOS. So we'll have to see. But let's take a look at this article. Full screen this for us here. Gonna zoom this in just a tad bit, make it a little easier for you guys to read over on your end, in case you're reading through it yourself. Now let's go through it. This is an exclusive interview. So greetings adventurers, today the Blue Protocol database brings an exclusive interview with Amazon Games franchise lead Mike Z is what we're gonna call him. In addition to the interview segment, we also have the opportunity to participate in the first Western hands-on demo experience available for Blue Protocol. Wait, first Western hands-on demo experience for Blue Protocol? Interesting. Both the interview and the playtest were conducted on June 26th, 2023 at an on-site venue in Germany. This seems really, really old. Like very old. Am I missing something here? Okay, here we go. Let me pop over so you guys can see it as well. We're gonna snooze those ads. There's not a whole lot to go over here, but it's something. All right, here we go. Maybe, is this better? That better for you? No, you can't really see everything that way. So we'll use the other scene that we were gonna use. There we go. All right. So after everything used from yesterday, we had a tiny amount of hope to share with everyone. This news is about the PC and mobile version of Blue Protocol, which is developed by Tencent. Okay, chat, hang on a second. I have to close my door because Skulls is just way too loud. One sec. All right, so we're gonna go back to this one more time. Probably gonna have to edit this down a bit. So after the devastating news from yesterday, we have a tiny amount of hope to share with everyone. This news is about the PC and mobile version of Blue Protocol, which is developed by Tencent. Concern. The beta test for this version is currently ongoing, and information regarding this is slowly beginning to reveal by the testers through various CN social media. We've collected the information and compiled a list to compare with the JP version of the game. There's still a lot of unknown factors, and Tencent hasn't officially confirmed or denied the future of the version after the JP version got canceled. However, you are more than welcome to make your own judgment based on the information below. So we don't know if this has also been canceled. We'll have to take a look and see, but apparently this seems to be going strong, and there's no announcement of it being canceled, at least as of yet. So what we have, mostly confirmed. It's labeled as an MMORPG and will be played on PC as well. So it's called mobile, but it'll be on PC as well. The art style is very similar to the JP version, but the models have been adjusted to look similar to characters in other mobile games such as Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact. They have some similar classes, but also some new additions like a katana class and a dedicated healer class with elemental rings as a weapon. The healer class is similar to JP Beat Performer class, but without the amp and the VFX. Without the amp, and the VFX are similar to Nahida from Genshin Impact. Interesting. Even the similar classes have completely different skills. For example, Archer's class seems to be a class with a pet that helps you in combat. The following weapons seem to be available: Kamadachi, staff, tomahawk, long gun, elemental rings, hand cannon, and sword and shield. Hand cannon. That's not the hammer anymore. Long gun. That's different. Elemental rings, I believe, is that healer they were talking about. Tomahawk, I imagine those are the dual tomahawks. Staff is normal. Kamadachi is the katana they mentioned. So yeah, each class has a fixed element assigned to it, which could mean that the elemental system is less complex compared to the JP version. Was it more complex than the JP version? We'll have to see. With the addition of the healer class, seems that Tencent's version is leaning heavily towards the Trinity system. The combat seems to be more fast-paced, similar to popular action combat mobile games. Let's see. The world and zones are pretty similar, but have different monsters and new points of interest. The main city, Asterlise, has been reworked to look more lively by having more NPCs, condensed placement of points of interest. The overall customization and costumes look better than the Japanese counterparts. Different OST and mixed. This is actually pretty good. Okay. The PC recommended requirements are exactly the same as JP version, which indicates the graphics and visuals should be at least as good as the JP version. And here's what's concerning / or unconfirmed. The way the gacha works seems to be similar to the JP version, but the content of the gacha is unknown. This is huge and very, this is like a scary part, right? Because we don't know what the gacha is going to be. If the gacha is related to power overall, that's going to suck majorly, because if they're marketing this as an MMO, having gacha related to power means that if you don't like have the money, you can't really keep up. Like that's the reality. If you do not have the money, you can't keep up. Like with games like Genshin, with games like Honkai, with games like even Wuthering Waves, in those games, you play mostly solo. You can play in groups, sure, like a few groups or whatever, but it's mostly solo. So gacha being tied to power in those games is totally fine, because realistically speaking, you don't have it thrown in your face over and over again that you're way weaker than someone else. However, in an MMO setting similar to that of TOF, you really don't have the choice to not know how much stronger someone is than you are. And it's kind of in their benefit to make sure that you know how much stronger the guy is that spent a bunch of money on the game versus you who hasn't spent anything. Granted, if it's something like you can kind of push ahead, or you have more roles at the same thing, then that's one thing, right? Like it's fine if it's like, let's say it's similar to that of Genshin and it's currency based, where there's only so much currency you get a day to like reroll RNG artifacts for gear or whatever, and everyone has to go through the same RNG, but someone who pays just has more chances of doing it, then it'll be fine. But if it's like someone who pays has more copies of a weapon that gives them more power or more chances at super expensive stuff or whatever, like if it's something like that, then it's going to feel really, really bad. It's going to be probably what keeps me away from playing this, similar to what got me to quit playing TOF. Because I'll be real, man, I don't want to be forced into playing support just because I don't have the credit card to afford to play DPS. That's just stupid to me. I know that's something that, like, you know, that's pretty common over in CN, and the people are okay with being able to put some money to skip the grind. But like in games like TOF, there's no put money to skip the grind. It's put money in to actually be able to play the class you want to play, because and it's basically, if you want to play DPS, you have to pay, which is totally lame in my opinion. And in some cases even tank. Let's see. It also seems to have a battle pass, or have battle passes, but the content of the item, or content of them, is unknown. Okay. There seems to be no information about the UI so far. I mean, that's less like concerning and more like, okay, whatever, we'll figure out when we see it. The lore seems to be pretty similar to the JP version with minor changes. Okay. I'm not sure if that's concerning or unconfirmed, but is what it is. Is not yet confirmed whether transitioning between zones will be interrupted by a loading screen. This doesn't really bother me very much. I don't mind if there's a loading screen. If there's a loading screen, it is what it is, as long as it's not insanely long, but you know, that's fine. Please take the information with a grain of salt. A lot of things are subject to change. And then they show off what looks to be the classes. Yeah, dual tomahawks. Okay. I mean, he looks pretty cool. Hopefully has some interesting, cooler skills. There's the Kamadachi. That looks to be... What is that supposed to be? Actually, hang on, what? Kamadachi, staff, tomahawk, long gun, elemental rings, hand cannon, sword and shield. Then what the heck is this? What's that? I mean, yeah, but they didn't mention a spear. Falling weapons seem to be available up here, but they don't mention the spear at all. That's interesting. There's the Kamadachi. What the heck is this supposed to be? Is that sword and shield? Is that tomahawk? Like what? That's interesting looking. Okay. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, the characters do look better, like comparatively. Hand cannon, you think? Think this is hand cannon, maybe? I guess that could be it. It's kind of sad because Skull's like playing the hammer cannon character, so like hammer cannon class. So it's kind of sad to see that that's not here, or at least we don't know about it. But I mean, to be honest, if they do it right, it could still be okay. Like it could, that sounds like a bit of copium. I know, I hear you guys. It sounds like copium, but it could be okay. Like realistically speaking, if they do these correct. However, I will say, if power is very heavily tied to the gacha system and it's an MMO, it's gonna feel like crap. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. If it's tied to the power system heavily, it's gonna feel like crap. Now, again, if they do something similar to like that of Genshin Artifacts, where like you just have more chances and more rolls on your gear itself to get like that top tier, you know, piece of gear or whatever, then like it's still RNG no matter how much you spend, right? You could spend tons and tons and tons of money, and then someone could spend nothing and still get that chance of getting it. Like, I think that's the healthy way to do MMO gacha. If you're going to do MMO gacha, that's the only healthy way to do it. If you do what TOF did, it's gonna feel like crap. I'm just gonna be real with you. It's gonna feel terrible. So hopefully they don't do that. Hopefully they go a different route. I'm gonna be keeping my eyes on this, glued to this, because I do want to play TOF. I'm sorry, I want to play Blue Protocol. But I'll be real with you guys. I don't want to go down another rabbit hole of playing a game that is riddled with gacha and the power is directly tied to gacha, and there's almost no chance otherwise. If like, okay, there's one other aspect, I'll say an if there's like a battle pass and like a monthly thing or whatever, and that's reasonable enough to be able to generate the resources you need to be able to be on par or fairly high up there when it comes to the gearing process, like you don't feel bad, like the difference in damage is maybe like 5, you know, like maybe 5%, then like sure, I can live with that. But I don't want another TOF experience where I'm max pulling characters and pulling chips, and because I didn't also max refresh the shop and I didn't also max, like, you know, max my chips and everything else, that someone is able to do enough damage to solo a raid boss while 5 of us fight the other one together. That doesn't feel good, and I hated that shit. So that definitely will not be me if that ends up being the case when it comes to Blue Protocol Mobile. So we'll have to see how they decide to go about this. Hopefully they think about this. It's very, very important, especially to Western audiences. Like, please, 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 please think about this. And yeah, that's pretty much it. What do you guys think? Are you guys excited for the different weapons at the very least? Like, how do you feel about the looks? Like, I think the looks look awesome. I think the characters actually look pretty good. And I am happy to hear that they're going with a little bit more of a proper MMO route, like the 10 killer DPS sort of thing. I don't know, man, that just resonates with me. I enjoy it. Anyway, take care, my friends. Peace out.